I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will not hunger. Whoever believes in me will not thirst. That's in John 6. Yesterday, two messages, both in John 6 that I heard. In the morning I heard a message on the bread of life, and I went to church that day, and David White did a phenomenal job of bringing us into the story, and just amazing, gifted guy. Can't wait to hear him again. But I was thinking of that as that, so for us, we have one word in English, it's life, okay? I am the bread of life. But think about this, is that in Greek, they have bios, which means physical life, material life. And then they have zoe, which means more eternal life, something beyond, something deeper. And a lot of times we're trying to fill our life, ourselves with the physical life instead of zoe. And that's what happened with Jesus, is because up to that point he just kept doing these miracles and all this stuff along the way, to where at that point where he gives that the miracle of providing for thousands with the small amount of fish and loaves, and they're coming to him the next day, and he says the reason you're coming is because your bellies are full. You're coming for the physical, you're coming for the bios, and yet I'm here to fulfill the zoe. That's my purpose. It's not to just incorporate me into your life to meet your physical needs. It's about us having a relationship. It's about me meeting those the zoe needs, the deeper rooted meaning that, same with the woman at the well coming to him, and she's got that brokenness and all that stuff, and she's been running to these things for that fulfillment instead of Christ himself. And that's what this whole thing's about. It's about us being in relationship with God and being fulfilled in him. That's where we're going to experience eternal life. It's not in him providing for us. And I think a lot of Christians, we come to him for the miracles and the things that he's going to do for us, instead of really getting our sustenance and fulfillment in him. Because there are benefits of, being a Christian. There's benefits, in being moral. But is that really being in relationship with a loving Father and allowing him to transform us because of who he is? And that's what he came to do. He came to restore us back to that right relationship with God. And then I thought of this too as a totally separate thing, but I was thinking about the word striving and growing. A lot of times we talk about striving for things in Christianity. And striving, to me, there's a sense of lack in that we're somehow missing something and we have to strive to receive, instead of growing in godliness is different. That he's the one doing the work in us. It's just about us being in relationship with him, and then him transforming our lives, instead of we're trying to strive for something. I think there's still, the motive underneath it is there's still some root of self in there. But he can continue to grow us when we're content and satisfied in him. So this process is just about being in him and allowing him to grow us instead of striving for something. And that's where we're going to experience the fruit of the Spirit, the peace and the joy and the love and the kindness and gentleness and self-control. It's a beautiful place to be, but it's being in him. That's why it went from 5,000 down to just a few dozen, after that message that I am the bread of life. It's tying in with Moses, after he took him out of the away from Pharaoh, and they got into the desert, and then God provided for him the manna for 40 years, enough to sustain them. That life was in the bread, the physical part. But Jesus is that bread for the Zoe part, that we're going to get fulfillment in him rather than just the physical things that he can provide us. So just look into your own heart and see, are you really in Him, or what's the motive underneath your obedience? Are you obeying to receive, or are you obeying because you understand the beauty of who He is? Anyway, God bless you.